everybody, welcome to the never-ending search for the good life again. I hope everybody's having a good month. This month, we're going to kind of continue our discussion that we started last month, which was moving forward technology-levered service models to another generation of care. And, you know, since the last time we talked, I participated in a national sort of seminar. I was on a forum with other wonderful people, and we were talking about how do you embed a culture in a program to use and embrace technology in the delivery of care. And it was really a good discussion, and there were some really great comments from different people, and actually it was very interesting because we're all of us also are in different ways participated in the development of policy that governs the use of technology in IDD care and other care industries. And in truth, we're all worried about that. Everybody's worried about how technology is used because, you know, the people like us at GoodLife with iLink, we've been using technology for almost 20 years now. So we've had a long history of that, and we want to make sure that technology is used appropriately, and that's a high motivation for us, and other people want to make sure it's used appropriately too. But the problem is, it's so new as a rule to our industry, we're not really sure how it can and should be used. And so we're trying to regulate some things and get people to use things and embed a culture of how to use things when it's not always clear what we're trying to accomplish. And technology is so evolving so quickly, and what's possible is evolving so quickly, we're just behind. You know, we're behind as an industry. And we're at the same time, you know, experiencing a national labor shortage that is unprecedented. I mean, we've always, as you know, had a horribly unstable workforce for decades that's been written about and researched and talked about for decades, and then now it's much worse. And one of the reasons it's much worse is because everybody's offering better jobs. And they're offering better jobs because they've embraced technology and how work is delivered. And so we're competing against other industries that are not as regulated and that have embraced virtual support and have improved the lives of their employees. And so the best employees are going to places where their lives are most improved. And so that's a problem that we have to deal with. And maybe, you know, the other problem is, you know, our industry is changing too. We are, you know, we have always embraced certain principles as a nation in IDD services. We have embraced the idea of our job is to make people live with greater independence, with greater safety. Our job is required. Federally, we're required to ensure people live a safe life too. We're required to use the least intrusive, the potentially effective care approach for delivering services. We're in charge with rights, and we're charged also by the final rule of moving people to smaller and smaller homes and helping them live, you know, a much preferred life and much more individualized life. But at the labor side of that, you know, the schedules and supports are getting more and more wanky and fractured, and people don't have a good work schedule. So our employment situation has gone from a crisis to, you know, something I can't even describe. And at the end, nobody gets what they want because you can't deliver the kind of care that we want with the way we've traditionally done it under the conditions that we have now. And money isn't really the answer because the reality is the alternative is still better. The life balance is still better for the employee elsewhere. So the goal is still the same as it was. You know, we are supposed to improve people's independence. We are supposed to use the least intrusive, potentially effective approach for care. We're supposed to assure safety. We're supposed to empower people's choices, and we're supposed to increase their self-direction and honor and expand their rights. This is what we're supposed to do. The difference right now is we have technology that could be possible. And this is not technology that we can use in a vacuum. This is technology that we can take and weave into our service approaches and create new ways of delivering services that use technology. And if we do that, we might be able to change the whole game, not just for the people that we serve who deserve more, but also for the people who make that possible. How can we improve the goals of the people who help people and the lives of the people who help people and improve the lives of all those people that we support? How can we increase and make the home smaller and more inclusive? How can we help people with jobs? How can we help people have control of their life, ability to self-direct? How can we do that? And how can we help the people who help them? Well, we can do that, and we can do it better with technology, and we're going to have to think about how our services are done differently. We're going to have to fund them differently, and we're going to have to make different policies around them. But the policies aren't the policies that I see. The policies that I see are policies that are for making a choice between virtual support and human support. That's not the correct choice. That's not the dichotomy we're looking for. We're looking for how do we serve people differently that use technology? And yes, including technology that helps people virtually support people, help people, and in order to do that, see, just like they do within the home. And how do we have policies that don't look at technology in a vacuum? I mean, there is no doubt in anybody's mind that staffing and technology and anything else that we do is intrusive. In fact, I can tell you this, all care in all industries is intrusive. Every medical procedure is intrusive, every behavioral procedure is intrusive, every care procedure is intrusive. That's always been the case. What we're trying to do is how do we balance the intrusion with the ability to help people live the best life possible. I think we would agree that somebody living in a group home of 8 with 2 staff and 8 people and an up-at-night staff, which is very traditional in our industry, is more intrusive than somebody living on their own or with another roommate in the home of their choosing in a neighborhood and receiving care when they need it and getting help to live lives that they really want to live, including if that was done with technology. So if the choice is measuring that accomplishment against life in a group home or life in assisted living versus living in somebody's own home, but you need technology in order to help the staff know what to do to provide care, or you need technology in order to help the person remember to do his medications, or you need to provide virtual support. I mean, think about this, virtual support requires you to teach somebody how to do something because you are not there to physically do it for them. In-home care, many times people just do for somebody that they could teach. So this isn't a dichotomy between virtual and in-home care or human people that exist in a home versus a human that helps somebody remotely or the combination of that. It's a discussion about how do you develop a model that uses an ecosystem of care to advance these incredibly important care requirements in ways that help people live a better life. Now, we've already done this ourselves, so let's sort of, I feel like we kind of need to get over it, but we did this because we lived it. I mean, we as a nation, powered forward potentially by the pandemic, have realized that we don't want to spend our time in things that technology can get rid of. I mean, many people don't enjoy going to the clinic. They don't enjoy going to work. They don't enjoy traveling. They don't enjoy a lot of things because those things take money and time that compete with the money and time they need to do the lives that they really want to live. And we've learned that. So right now, many of us can't hire staff because they've already figured that out and they want to work for people that have figured that out. What we need to do is to take that knowledge that we're learning the hard way and apply that to our own services that we're delivering. How can we use technology to change how we support people, to advance these important outcomes that we have to do, just like we did for ourselves? How could you guys across the nation and me connect together with cameras, talking together on video conferencing, seeing each other, helping each other, collaborating in ways that were never possible? And we embrace that and love that. In fact, I have people in my own office where we have a meeting there, they stay in their office and connect through video conference because they can have everything out the way they want it and be, maximally productive. How can we embrace that life of a smartphone that goes with us through life to help us navigate and answer questions, or my friend Alexa, who actually helps us when we need it, or a microscopic surgery where a camera goes into our veins with microscopic devices that have avoided intrusive surgeries or helped us live longer and better lives. How can we embrace all of that to improve our own lives, but then restrict it on how we care for other people? And how can we have a process of continual improvement, which we all embrace, where each year we look at where we are, where we want to be, and how do we get there? How do we have that discussion without technology? We can't. And we're going to have to change how we go forward. And so in the next several episodes that you're going to see, what you're going to see is us kind of navigating through this. We're going to first start with really a sort of a check-in with the current status of iLink technologies, because I know those well, and we have designed them as an infrastructure for an agency. And I want you to see what the technology right now is able to do and what it's capable of, and how we're designing it to advance important principles. But that's just the technology, and that's just the infrastructure. Then I want to move on to some case studies and looking at some models of care, including the neighborhood network or night support or remote health care or remote behavioral care. I want to look at those things, and I want to see how technology can advance those in ways that we're excited about. And how can we use technology to provide support for staff to allow them to work with the client in a small setting, knowing that there are staff who have turnover and they need help to know what to do. Because you can't teach in 2 weeks what they need organically to help somebody, because you don't know what they need until they need it. And so these are the things we're going to explore through case and kind of reviews of services, and I'm excited to kind of take you on this journey for the next several times, so that at the end of the journey, hopefully we'll see, and we'll kind of explore policy decisions along the way, and we'll explore privacy issues and intrusion along the way. We'll also explore intrusions by other things, and how we can minimize those intrusions, or how we can advance things like the ability to self-direct and give control to people that didn't have control, and maybe how an iCoach can teach better remotely, even than somebody in the home. So these are going to be fun things to do, and we're looking forward to it. So until then, we'll see you next time.